We're live. Sorry for the lateness again. Life sometimes can smack you in the butt, but I guess that's why this is called Off the Cuff. Yes, that's what I titled it, Off the Cuff. Spike Dash here, and my co-host. We were fighting with a door.
Yes.
Nate, you want to tell them the story?
Well, I come over, just like any other day, just come over to hang out. He opens the door, goes back into his living room to do, I don't know what he was doing. I reach back to close the door behind me and think, all of a sudden,
Doorknob.
I'm holding a doorknob. And I shouldn't be holding a doorknob.
No.
I yelled at Chris. I said, Chris, get in here. He's like, what? Like, get in here. Like, what's going on? And he looks at me, looks at the doorknob, looks at me, he says, oi.
Oi. Yeah.
That ain't supposed to happen.
Like, that ain't good.
This ain't gonna be good.
No. Turns out that knob was probably gonna come off at any point because there was no screw holding it in place to the part.
The doorknob didn't get screwed.
Yeah, right? No, it didn't. Not at all. Not at all, no. So we first made a unplanned trip to the Home Depot, hoping to buy a new set, and that went swimmingly afterwards, because the shaft on the inside doesn't have any screw holes in it.
No.
So it was not working at all.
The shaft is not
long enough for this door.
The door.
Yeah.
The shaft is maybe like, the shaft is maybe like that. The door is like that. So it wasn't, the door on the inside is too wide.
And someone now snickering, making shaft jokes. Ha, 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 ha. I'm sure.
Well, I already made a screw joke.
That's true.
Doorknob didn't get screwed.
That's true. That's true. It's set up for so many jokes. So anyways, this is off the cuff. This is unplanned. Well, we talked about somewhat planned. We talked about it, but it's completely random.
FFSR. I guess that's what we can call it, because it's not My Little Pony, so
it doesn't really tie into it. It is, but it doesn't.
Football related.
Right.
The special Drew Brees edition.
Yes, that's our main.
It's a special.
Yes, because last night on Monday Night Football, Drew broke a record that I think many of us had thought would not be broken.
Drew Brees is just Drew Brees. What can you say?
That's right. Peyton Manning had the record for most all-time passing yards, and Drew only needed 201 last night to break it. Well, he broke that easily. Handily, yes.
Handily.
Yeah. More handily than replacing a doorknob.
I guess so. As we were shown.
Yeah, clearly.
How many idiots does it take to fix a doorknob? Obviously more than two.
Obviously. We have to put in like a temporary fix in order to get it to work. Because the way you had it, it would not turn otherwise. Well, it would turn on one if you had put one side in, but not the other.
I'm telling you that shaft wasn't long enough.
Right. Yeah. It didn't look like it did. But anywho, let's see. So I'm looking up here how far ahead now Drew is.
Just look up.
Okay, yeah, 72,103. So that's where he's
Manning
at now.
Was
71,940. So that means if he needed 201 to break it, that means coming into the night he had 71,739. Or no, he would have had 71,700. He went 200 behind, so 201 to break it. So doing a little math here, 72
Peyton Manning plus
minus 71. So that means Brees threw for 363 last night. Yeah, so 363 last night. So here's a fun thing. Here's a fun stat. Okay, so say not that he might do that every game, but okay. Say if Brees throws for that amount every week rest of the season. Okay,
11 weeks.
11 weeks. Yeah, that's another 3,993 yards.
Uh-huh.
So if he does that every week,
yeah,
the record then at the end of the season would be 76,096. If he did that every week the rest of the season. I doubt that will happen, but it's not. But with it being the Saints offense, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
And then he's one touchdown away from 500.
One touchdown away from 500.
So that record will probably
because him and Brady are going to battle out Favre for number 2. I mean, so that's going to be a fun.
Favre's at 508.
Favre's at 508.
539.
Yeah, so that's going to be a fun battle.
Brady won't ever fucking retire.
No, he won't.
Excuse my language, but
right.
As I said last night, as a person, I like the guy. As an athlete, I cannot stand that guy.
Right.
There's a difference. I know we're doing this show to talk about Brees, but seeing as that Brady and Brees are kind of locked horns, why don't you just get the hell out and let the Young Bucks have it? There's my omeprazole.
There's your pillar reminder. Right on time.
Technical difficulties. I'll be back on camera shortly. How about you just
Shut your trap.
Yeah, shut your
But
shut your cake hole, Irene.
Right.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, like you said, yeah, they're locking horns. It's going to be interesting to watch them, battle, the entire season to see what's, where they're going to end up.
How long has Brady been
in the league?
Yeah.
I want to say 90. I don't want to say 94.
What?
He's been in the league a while. I know that. Or no, 2000. Okay, not that old. I thought it was a lot longer than that. It feels like a lot longer than 2000. It seems longer than 2000, but it was 2000. Although it feels longer. Yeah.
So he's been in the league for 18 years. What is Brady trying to get? The record for the longest quarterback? Continuous?
And Brees came in 1 year after.
Which would be
2001.
Let's see. The longest tenured quarterback without a break, because Favre left and came back after a year. So I wonder what record that is.
The longest tenure you mean for one team?
No, the longest tenured career without a break.
Oh, without a break.
Like as in.
Well, usually they don't come back when someone takes a break. They don't come back to their current team.
Well, no, like Favre was there for like 16.
But Favre never came back to Green Bay.
Yeah, I know, but he came back to resurrect his career for a
yes,
career-wise.
Yes.
What is the longest continuous career without retirement and then coming back, I wonder? Because Brady's been in for 18. Favre was in for a total of 18, right? But that was also taking a year off. Because he retired from the Packers, took like a year or two, and then came back to the Vikings.
George Blanda.
Okay.
Played both as a kicker and a quarterback, has the longest NFL career of all time. 26 seasons in total.
Ew.
Yeah.
Continuous with no break in between? Or or did he play like 13 years, take a break, then another X amount? Because we thought Favre was going to retire. Because he did retire for like, a season?
I might have to look up.
Favre took a break in between his stints. I'm talking longest continuous career without a break. Injuries not included. Because an injury does not say retirement unless they retire.
Okay, this is records by games played.
Okay.
See, but that's 25. See, okay, but he didn't play. Blanda did play 26 years, but he didn't. What was that? George Blanda. Blanda played 26 seasons of professional football, the most in the sport's history, and scored more points than anyone in history at the time of his retirement. He retired in 1976 at the age of 48.
He was 22 when he came in.
Yeah.
How old was Brady? That was probably before you were required to go to college.
Yeah, no breaks. 1949 all the way to 1975. 26 straight years. So that's got to be the record. Now, he hasn't played the most games. Blanda's played the 5th most games, 340. Morton Anderson played the most games, 382 in 25 years.
Okay.
So he's played the most games. Now, interestingly enough, Vinatieri is 4th in most games played with 342.
Who's first?
Anderson, who I just told you.
Okay.
Now, if Vinatieri keeps playing this year, if he plays all 11 games the rest of the year, he'll be tied with kicker Gary Anderson for 2nd all-time at 353.
Okay.
But then Vinatieri has to play 30 more games, i.e. almost 2 seasons to get the record for most games played. So.
But, yeah, Tom Brady, 18 years.
Well, Brady's 41 now. So he was drafted in 2000, so he was 23.
Okay. And Blanda was how old when he retired?
48.
Yeah. So we might actually have to put up with Brady for another 7 years.
He says he wants to go into his 40s. He wants to.
He's already into his 40s.
I know, but he wants to go further in them. That's what's crazy.
But then again, I guess when you have a winning team perennially every year, I think that's what when you're in a perennial
powerhouse, but yeah, I think
perennial powerhouse.
That's what you're thinking of. Yes.
Why do you retire if you're pretty much almost guaranteed to go to the Super Bowl every year?
Right.
If you're guaranteed to win the Super Bowl almost every year, why retire?
That's true. That's true.
It's like, how many Super Bowls do you want, Brady? You want a ring for each finger?
Right.
I don't know.
So much bling.
He's got what, 5?
He's already got one full hand. Yeah, you know.
And he's made it to 8.
And he's made it to 8. Yeah.
Oh, what's he want? Another hand of Super Bowl rings? I mean, how does that I wonder, do they ever wear their Super Bowl rings?
That's a good question.
Okay, how heavy would his hands be? Probably couldn't lift them.
Oh, I know, right?
Because them Super Bowl rings are probably not light.
No.
As much diamonds and bling and shit as they.
I would say, yeah, it's far heavier than my Galaxy ring, obviously.
Yeah, but because that's not real diamonds.
No. I know it's a replica. I know,
but
it is heavy. I will say that. But
my class ring by itself is heavy.
Yeah.
I could just imagine wearing something this big.
Yeah, right.
Well, I don't know if the setting is that big, but it's the Patriots, so they might have one this big eventually. And yet, the Patriots don't have the most Super Bowls in the franchise. That'd be, I think, the Steelers still.
It's possible.
Franchise history. I think that's still the Steelers.
There's a remote there.
Right here.
Yeah, I know. Speaking of bling, I've got to show you this.
Bling?
Yes, bling. Speaking of bling.
What bling?
Okay, last season, the Washington Capitals won their first Stanley Cup.
Yes, they probably went all out for it.
And the Hershey Bears are the affiliate of the Capitals. Okay. The Bears had their Capitals night a couple nights ago, and Slapshot was there from the Caps. Look at his ring.
Okay.
So yes, the mascots do get their own rings. Yeah, that Slapshot's bling. Like that's pretty impressive.
That's a huge ring.
Yeah, but you got to get one for a mascot.
I know it's like zoomed in.
Yeah.
What's the actual picture? Like not.
There you go. Yeah.
Still, that's a big ring. It's fake.
Yeah, but
is
still,
it fake or is
I don't mean it. I mean the diamonds look.
Well, you can fake real.
Oh, I know you can fake real diamonds, but that looks pretty close.
Okay.
But yeah, you're talking about bling, and I'm like, oh wait, I remember about Slapshot. Yeah. So yeah. So
go all out when you win your first egg.
Exactly. No, they do. Yeah. So yeah, it made me think of that from the Bears. But going back to Brees and what he accomplished, this is why it's off the cuff. We go on tangents.
Yeah.
But going back to Brees, what he accomplished last night was just so incredible, and the Saints dominated Washington.
They just
all night long. I mean, what was it, like 43-19 was the final.
They just put a broomstick up there.
They did. They did. And welcome back, Mark Ingram.
Yes.
2 touchdowns and killed it for us. Him and Michael Thomas combined to get us the win in fantasy this week also, so that was huge. So we are now 4-1. We have the longest win streak in the league, 4 straight wins.
We're not starting Flacco, or is he on bye?
Winston has a better matchup.
You said that with
Tannehill. Atlanta, 30th ranked pass defense.
You said that with Tannehill over Flacco.
Dude, Flacco had 10 points against Cleveland last week.
Who did we start in place of Flacco last week? Oh, we
did start Flacco last week because we had to, because at the time the other quarterback was on a bye.
I thought we started Tannehill over Flacco.
Because Winston was on a bye.
Tannehill went off.
No, that's the week that Tannehill struggled against New England.
And Flacco went off. It's like, oh, better matchup. And ended up Flacco scored more than Tannehill. But now we got Winston.
Baltimore's at Tennessee. I don't like it. Do you remember Tennessee shut down Blake Bortles earlier this year?
Yeah, well, Blake Bortles ain't the ratings. I'll go with you. Hopefully it works.
Yeah, he's projected for a ton more points too. He's projected for 24. Flacco's projected for 15.
Ew.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take it.
Yeah.
And
I figured you'd like
Buff
that.
Bills 3-2.
Yeah.
Cake.
Yeah. Hopefully all our waiver claims go through. Yeah, I hope they do with Cohen, Sanu, and Cootie. Well, of course, being 4-1, we're toward the bottom. That's the only drawback of being so good is that we're at the bottom of the waiver order.
It's like what?
We're like I think we're like 11th or 10th.
Us and 2. There's 12 in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be 10th.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily.
Because it's us and 2 others at 4-1, right?
Well, no. Remember, division leaders I think get first crack, or not. I'm sorry, worst crack. Let's see standings.
Oh, and by the way, with our 4-1 victory, we are now sole owner of first place.
Yes.
Because 1-31 ain't that bad. Obviously, is that bad?
Because they lost 2 Buff Bills, who we play this week. So
that's crazy.
Yeah.
They lost to Buff Bills. Buff Bills is only 3-2. We're 4-1. That scares me.
Points for.
So thank you, Buff Bills.
Yeah, we would be 10th in the order because
10th out of 12.
Because we are with the 4-1 teams. We have the fewest points of the 4-1 teams.
Okay.
So yeah, we'd be 10th.
And have you set the lineup yet?
I've set it based on who's in there right now, but that's not with our. Remember, waivers go through tomorrow. Okay. So if once the waivers go through, then I'll adjust it to that.
If we get the claims, what claims do we get? Who we start based on claims?
Right. Correct.
Where are we at now? As far as underdog favorite,
won't be posted till tomorrow either.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, they don't post. They don't post till the waiver claims go through. So yeah. Yeah, so we won't know until waivers go through. So
waivers go through, then we see the favorites.
Yes,
okay.
Correct. Yeah.
Now, if the waivers go through, and let's say we're a 10-point favorite, but then you flip the waivers and we're a 8-point favorite, will you flip it back to give us the more favorited?
Well, you know me. I put us, I try to put us in the best position to win each week, and I with the lineup we have, and if someone is projected, for a better matchup, that's who I'm going to put in the lineup. So, or I always check Fantasy Pros and see who's available. If there's a better player available that we can get, I'm going for him. Duh, So I always look at that. I look at the cheat sheets to see who's available. I look at the power rankings to see how the league is. We're rated in our league. I look at all of that. I look at all that data.
And who beat us?
He won in 31.
That's what I thought.
Week 1, yeah.
But then again, we have made some bomb.
Yes, we have. Yeah. Getting, originally we had the Saints defense, and they had that 0. That's the major reason why we lost that week. That and Stafford throwing 5 interceptions. But
had the Saints come to play and Stafford not suck,
we might be 5-0. Yeah. So, but that's why they're no longer on our roster.
But yeah, then okay, and then we get another crack at 1-31, and
could be a different story.
We're coming for you.
Yeah.
We want to kick your butt.
That's right.
Ooh.
So, but anyway, what Brees has done is nothing short of outstanding.
And then what he told his kids on the sideline: you can do anything you put your mind to, just work at it.
He's so humble. That's the great thing about him.
It's funny. Speaking of his humility, he even told who was it that interviewed him? Lisa Summers.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was. Said, "Nothing is given, everything is earned." End quote.
Yeah.
He says, "I love to play the game. I love to compete. It's not about breaking the records." He basically has the attitude of records I could care less.
Even though he has a ton of them.
He doesn't care about the
Right.
records.
2 NCAA, 13 Big Ten Conference, 19 still at Purdue University. He remains the Big Ten record holder in completions, attempts, and passing yards.
Why can't we get him for the Colts? That'd be nice.
And then his career highlights alone, of course: 1 Super Bowl title, a Super Bowl MVP, 11-time Pro Bowler, 3-time first-team All-Pro, a second-team All-Pro award, 2-time NFL Offensive Player of the Year, a Sportsman of the Year award, 2010, Sports Illustrated, Male Athlete of the Year, 2010, Walter Payton Man of the Year, 2006, Comeback Player of the Year, 2004, 7 times led the league in passing yardage, 4 times led the league in passing touchdowns, passer rating leader, 2009, college, he was the Big Ten Player of the Year in 2000, Maxwell Award as the nation's best quarterback, Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year 2 times. And then his records, the NFL, again, most career passing yards we just said, most career completions, highest career completion percentage, 471 completions in a single season, a 72% completion percentage in a single season, tied for 7 touchdown passes in a single game. And oh, by the way, 54 straight games with at least a touchdown pass. 54 straight.
Ask me why I'm shaking my head.
Because it's unbelievable.
No, not just because of that.
Okay.
Yet he has never won the league MVP.
No.
MVP.
No.
I say MVP.
MVP was envied, but yeah, might win MVP. Is envied.
Why has he never won MVP of the league? With all those records, he'll go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. I have no doubt. Screw you, Tom Brady. Y'all need to retire your old ass. To be honest with you, I think his butt just needs to retire. Excuse me for my language, but it ticks me off. They ought to put a limit on how many years a quarterback can play and put it at 20.
Yeah.
I don't like Tom Brady as an athlete.
He has passed for over 5,000 yards in a season 5 times.
Yes.
Five
times. And yet he's never won the league MVP.
Yeah.
And yet he's – wake the hell up, NFL. What do you have against – like, what do they have against him? Who is better than him?
Right.
Nobody. Who's going to be better than him this year? Nobody. And quite frankly, ticks me off because I think he deserves that one award, and that's the one that he's not going to get.
Right.
Unless, it just. Can you tell how ticked I am?
I am.
I might have to go mob guy. Hey, give him what he deserves.
Right.
I don't know how to do it.
All right. And the thing of it is, no other NFL quarterback has even done so more than once in a season. Five times for 5,000 yards. That's crazy.
Why has he never won the league? And he's won the Super Bowl MVP that year, right?
Yes. When when the Saints beat the Colts.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, correct.
Damn you, Sean Payton. I will always hate you for that. Onside kick to start the second half. I will always hate him for that. But in his defense, he'd probably say, we were down.
Speaking of that, I have a story about that too. Again, off the cuff before we get into Brees' story, but that reminded me of another story.
What?
Okay, so I was at Cass County Tire today, right?
Yes.
And I was getting my tire fixed.
Yes.
And
turns out there was a small leak on the rim.
There was. It was actually, so my sensor wasn't the problem. So
lovely.
But I did get that fixed. Only $26.
Wunderbar.
But so there, of course, they have as you're sitting there, they have all the magazines laid out and whatnot to read stuff. There's an ESPN the magazine there, and they were actually it was like the gamer issue, and they had a story on what happened in Jacksonville with the tragedy with the Madden shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and supposedly the guy that did it, he actually utilized that as part of his Madden strategy. Like he would actually use onside kicks like in the second half when the games were tied. Like he did that.
Yeah.
And before there was a rule like during the Madden tournaments you couldn't do that, but then they changed the rule so now you can. So now it can become part of Madden strategy.
Okay.
So not that I'm making light of the guy, but it's still
if it's part of the game,
PO'd at him and he did.
If it's part of the game, if you can onside kick to start the half in the game, why did they have a rule that you couldn't?
Right. The guy was mentally bucked up in the head, by the way. After I read that article, he was completely messed up. Like even and you know the Madden gaming community is tight. You know that, and we know that being players ourselves. We know that. And they even said the guy just looked detached. He gave players like cold stares. He wouldn't shake players' hands. Like he just seemed so out of place. He didn't feel like a normal Madden player. So
why was he even there?
He had won previous Madden tournaments. He actually won a tournament in Buffalo.
Yeah. And
they did the interview with him and everything, and it didn't seem.
Oh my God!
You are so popular tonight. So. It just seemed, So.
Why is he calling me again?
Oh my gosh, he's like really calling you tonight.
Hello. Hello. What's up?
And the Carolinas. The beginning of the event in terms of tropical storm conditions will be overnight tonight sometime.
Right now we're doing the stream on YouTube. Okay, what's up? Well, now that I got you on the phone, what's up? Okay. I spent like $14 at the gas station. I got a pack of smokes, a couple packs of candy, and I got 2 Irish buns. They were 2 for $5 at Speedway. A little bit, yes. Still.
This is going to be a big time wind event going inland.
Yeah,
the Florida area, all the way through Georgia and the Carolinas, and we're going to have extensive power outages along with trees and in the flight, which all of which can be
Oh,
very deadly. People aren't here.
I'd say since you get paid in 3 days, I don't think that's too far out.
Right? We're going high end on all these things. And
Yeah, hungry?
A little bit.
You gonna be by the time Sarah gets home?
Yeah. What you thinking?
B-dubs if you buy your own. We'll buy ours. You buy yours.
All right.
Because she doesn't feel like cooking.
Okay.
We could do that. We could do that sampler thing if they still have it, like $15 a piece gets a crap ton of food. Like, yeah. Well, yeah. The pick 3 for $15 or something. You pick your appetizer, you pick your wings, and you pick your sauce or something.
Can you give us any context here when we say mind-blowing cake or previous storm in this area? Well, thanks, Mike, and we'll compare Michael to cake and
yeah.
a little bit, and we'll come back to you as soon as we can. We do
but yeah, we can. I guess we can go there. Yeah.
In the middle part of the country, a couple of fairly highly populated areas. This one.
He says he's game for that.
Iowa, tornado warning, including.
Okay. Oh, and from now on, before church, maybe like on if we want to do a Saturday night, we're going to Speedway because they have Monster 2 for $5. They have My Irish Blend, and they have your Mean Bean. I checked. So yeah, so they have both our flavors, 2 for $5. So might be a little out of the way, but it's both of our monsters on a deal. So yeah. So anyway, we're doing the stream, and if you don't hear from me by the time you're home, just come over to Chris's then. Okay. Love you too. Bye.
If you have psoriasis, little things can be a big deal. That's why there's a Tesla.
At least you have a plan for that. At least that was easy enough, right?
Yeah, she didn't feel like cooking. She's had a couple.
Okay.
Like she's not sick, but she's not been sleeping good the last couple days. But anyway.
Yeah. Back to the Madden story.
She
real
goes,
quick.
correct. I didn't mean to interrupt you. But anyway.
Back to that story. So yeah, the guy was just very
bucked up in the head.
Yeah. Just and.
Was he always like that, or did he just snap there?
No, when I read the article, he had a
Kleenex or paper towel or something.
Yes.
I've had a booger in my nose.
That's
real life, folks. There we go. That's real life.
Yeah, he had apparently a lot of mental issues.
Did other members of the Madden community say, was it one of them? I always knew there was something messed up about the dude, or was it like were the other Madden community members being like,
his parents divorced in 2005?
Yeah.
His mental health. He had a psychiatric crisis, worsening depression. Began taking antidepressants as well as Risperdal, and a psychotic drug. Yeah, so there was a lot of mental health issues. He's wrestling with his mom with the cable cord of the TV. Was failing classes in school. So. I got to put a new bag in that, but
yeah,
but.
Careful
where you hit the mouse. You clicked the mouse for a brief moment. Thankfully, nothing happened. But
so now I would imagine before any Madden tournament from now on,
y'all got more security. Number one.
Not only that, but I think a good thing in light of this tragedy is before you play, one of the requirements before you even play is you got to pass a psych eval.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to take this psychological evaluation, guess what? You don't play.
But I tweeted about this too.
Is that fair? Or is that fair? Or is that too harsh?
No, that's fair.
We don't want this happening again. So we got to make sure you're psychologically there enough to take a loss.
But these, of course, these two pictures hit my heart the hardest. There's Elijah Clayton with Jackson DeVille.
Okay.
There's one of the he was like the first person to be shot. And then the other guy from the Titans, who was a Titans fan. There's Taylor Robertson with T-Rack.
Okay.
27 years old, father and a husband.
And did they both?
Yeah. Those are the two victims. Yeah. So.
And let's see. Did he kill himself?
Yeah, he killed himself.
Well, and there was a shooting just recently, but they got the guy. I forget the last massive shooting, but they got him in custody, so he'll face justice.
Yeah.
Just a couple of weeks ago, you told me there was another shooting, or a standoff or something, I remember.
I forget where that was.
But he didn't get the chance to kill himself, so they took him into custody.
Right.
Well, I feel bad. I feel sorry for the ones that died, but we can take solace in anybody else that he will face justice. And our justice is nothing compared to what he'll do.
That's right.
I know sometimes I cuss like a sailor.
Right.
Sorry, folks.
Right.
I'm really trying hard to work on that. But like I told my friend Josh yesterday, I admitted to him, I cuss like a sailor.
Right.
But I'm working on it. I'm not perfect. But I am still Christian.
Right.
We know who God is. I know who God is. You know who God is. That guy will be burning in hell for the rest of his eternity.
Right.
Thank you for that.
Right.
You deserve to. You kill two people plus yourself. What the hell?
Right. And I hope that I hope that Taylor and True Boy were because I hope they're having an epic Madden tournament in heaven. I hope so. And we're seeing on the Weather Channel also here, President Trump has approved the disaster declaration for the state of Florida. Hurricane Michael tracking that way.
Anybody in Florida that might watch this, please get
in the
out.
Panhandle. Yeah,
do not chance it.
Alabama, Georgia.
Do not chance it. Do not
Carolinas
chance
again.
Staying.
No.
Do not chance staying. I do not care. I don't care how much value you have in your home. Right. Your home can be replaced.
Right.
I know that memories. I know that objects might not.
Right.
But what object is worth?
Right. Your life.
Losing your life.
Exactly. Right.
What's worth that?
Right.
I mean, there is nothing on this earth that is worth losing your life for because of a natural disaster. So, and I know there's going to be some stupid people. I can't leave. We can't leave our animals. We can't do this. Animals can be replaced. A life can't.
Right.
Get out.
Right.
Don't be stupid.
It's a Category 3 now, 120-mile-an-hour wind gusts.
And I'm not trying to be harsh.
No.
I'm not trying to
you're not.
But please don't be stupid.
Right.
As Ron White says, and I know Ron White is a comedian, but what he said was true. It's not that the wind is blowing, it's what the wind is blowing. You can survive the wind. It's what the wind is carrying with it that you won't
Which is mostly water, which is mostly storm surge, and that's the worst thing.
Storm surge, I think they said
they're talking 9 to 15 feet.
They were doing percentages.
Yeah.
Okay. They were doing death toll percentages.
Yeah.
49% of deaths during a hurricane are caused by water.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people don't want to leave their homes for one reason or another. Either it's the pets, or it's their possessions,
right?
Whatever.
Or they think they can get to high enough ground where the water won't come up to like the top story of their house.
And even then, they were warned against that
Yeah.
because the higher you go, the stronger it actually is.
But then you hear about all these water rescues with Katrina and Florence and all these storms and Harvey and all these storms we've had the past couple of years. You've heard about all these water rescues because people are trapped on the roofs of their homes.
There wouldn't have to be water rescues if everybody just got the heck out of there, right?
Right.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. No.
So please don't be stupid.
Yeah, if you can get out, now's the time. If you can get out, now's the time before it even makes a landfall.
Yeah.
You know, before it even has a chance.
Yeah.
So
We're not making light of no disaster. We're not making light of the hurricanes. Please.
just
The best way to protect yourself and your life is to get the heck out of there.
Well, we'll board up first, like some people are doing, like board up your windows, board up your storefronts, board up all that.
If you have time.
Yeah, if you have time, board up all that.
But get out of there and save your life.
And then get out of Dodge.
Get out of there and spare your life.
Right,
Even if you don't have time to board up and do all that building preparations.
Right.
A building can be rebuilt.
Right.
A life can't be
exactly.
Unless you're Jesus, which no.
Right. So, yeah.
Life-threatening storm surge imminent.
Yeah.
Imminent, which means it's coming.
Right.
You have to bring your pets along, not leave them behind. Too many times we saw the tragic.
Yeah, that's another thing. Don't leave them behind. Bring them with you. You know.
If you have to leave them behind to save your life, do it to spare your life. But try to bring them.
Yes.
You know. Anyway.
Anywho, we went on the Madden tangent and the hurricane, but that's but again, off the cuff. That's what can happen on off the cuff.
And who knows if I lost my train of thought. Just who knows.
Right. But again, going back to
who knows who'll be watching this.
Right.
That's what I was going to say.
Exactly.
Someone in Florida could watch this.
Exactly.
Please protect yourself.
Right.
So is this going to be a new show or something?
Off the cuff, it very well could be.
Because I thought this was FFSR and you titled the show Off the Cuff, but
no, I actually just came up with off the cuff, just off the cuff.
Well, then, alrighty then. Okay.
I literally came up with the title Off the Cuff.
This is the debut of Off the Cuff. I didn't know. I just saw his title Off the Cuff.
Yeah.
Drew Brees special.
And then,
and
then maybe plus, and apparently plus more because we've gone into a whole other topic.
That's the title of the show.
Yeah.
And this is the topic.
Yeah.
So the title of the show is Off the Cuff.
Off the cuff. Guess, whatever comes to our minds, apparently.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how many shows we'll do for this new show.
Right.
I don't know.
You keep knocking that remote off the
second stinking time I have knocked.
Oh my gosh, man. What do you have against remotes?
I don't know.
And knock them off. Oh my gosh, man.
There ain't no more controllers to knock off.
Yeah, it's true.
So, yeah. All right. What do you do?
Right,
what do you do?
Right.
See, I thought off the cuff was the subject. I didn't know it was the name of the show.
I just came up with it on a whim. literally off the cuff. So back to the main story. Back to Brees.
I guess it's just whatever we want to talk
about. Absolutely. Brees was born in Texas to a prominent trial lawyer and an attorney. Boy, I can relate to that.
Surprised he didn't go to TCU or Texas Tech or anything.
Right. A Sports Illustrated article stated he was named for Cowboys receiver Drew Pearson, but in a 2014 interview, Brees said the story was just a legend. He has a younger brother, Reed, born in 1981. When Brees was 7, his parents divorced and shared custody of the boys. And today, Brees admits it was a very tough and challenging life after divorce. Again, I can relate. However, Brees and his younger brother, Reed, supported each other and became very close. And they have a younger half-sister, Audrey, from their father's remarriage to Amy Hightower. Both of Brees' parents had athletic backgrounds. Well, that's also good to know.
Okay.
His father played basketball for Texas A&M.
No wonder.
Yeah. And
No wonder he's such a freak on.
And his mother was a former All-State in 3 sports in high school.
Okay.
His maternal uncle, Marty Akins, was an All-American starting quarterback for Texas from 75 to 77. And his maternal grandfather, Ray, had the 3rd most victories as a Texas high school football coach in his 3 decades at Gregory Portland High School. By the way, this is all coming from Wikipedia, so free resource, great resource.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. Let's see. Younger
Mostly
brother.
true.
Yes. Younger brother Reed was an outfielder for the. Oh boy, that hurts though.
Okay.
His younger brother was an outfielder for Basecom for the Baylor baseball team. At least the baseball team hasn't been involved in any scandal, not that I'm aware of.
Not yet.
No. Brees did not play tackle football till high school.
Whoa.
Wow, that's surprising.
crazy.
Yeah, high school. And he was on the flag football team at St. Andrew's Episcopal School, where his teammates included actor Benjamin McKenzie, who was in the same year. Huh. That's cool. In high school, he was a varsity letterman in baseball, basketball, and football, and was considering playing college baseball rather than football. So this whole football thing almost never happened.
Yo, Drew, good move.
Yeah, right?
Really good move.
College recruiters quickly ran after Brees blew out his knee in the 11th grade. Ooh.
Uh-huh.
After overcoming an ACL tear, he was elected as Texas High School 5A Most Valuable Offensive Player in 96 and led the Westlake High School football team to a 16-0 record and a state title.
There you go.
Dang.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, when you got that athletic pedigree and a God-given talent,
Yes.
okay, you can play 1 year and, you know,
Right.
obviously that shows me that he's got a God-given talent there just to do what he does.
Right.
To do what he's done in such a short
As a high school
time.
player, Brees was 314 of 490 for 5,461 yards and 50 touchdowns, including in his senior season, 211 of 333 for 3,528 yards and 31 touchdowns.
There you go, 5,000 yards again.
That was his high school career.
Career-wise, yes.
Westlake went 28-0-1 when he started for 2 seasons.
Hey.
No losses. And he beat a Dominic Rhodes-led Abilene Cooper 55-15 in the 96 title game.
Dang.
Yeah. So he faced against Dominic Rhodes in high school and creamed him.
Yeah. So 28-0-1, a total of what, 29 games?
29 games as starter and no losses.
So what's the season length in Texas then? 29 divided by 2.
Well, if he played 16 games counting the tournament.
That's regular and post.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what their tournament's like compared to Indiana's,
but still in his
yeah.
whole career,
Yeah.
regular season, post, and tournament, and all that.
And no losses.
29-0 and
28-0-1.
28-0
and no losses.
I guess they tied.
They must have
after
tied.
overtime.
Yeah, they must have tied. Yeah, they must have had ties back then. Brees was given honorable mention in the state high school all-star football team and the USA Today All-USA high school football team, alongside former Chargers teammate and longtime friend LaDainian Tomlinson.
And that's what, junior and senior year
Yes.
in high school?
Now, Brees had hoped to follow his father and uncle's footsteps and play for Texas or Texas A&M,
Uh-huh.
but was not heavily recruited despite his stellar record.
I bet they're kicking themselves in the ass right there for that.
Brees received offers from only 2 colleges. Of course, Purdue, Kentucky.
Oh, thank God you did not go to Kentucky.
More up with that fan going, Kentucky!
I just called it Kentucky.
I know. But I told you that story.
What? You might have, you might not.
Okay.
Off the cuff, here's another story.
Here's another story.
Story time. Off the cuff story.
Off the cuff.
Ah.
Here's another story. Okay, so this is when I was an IU fan before I went to Purdue and everything. So this is
you an IU fan. Ugh.
Well, yes, when I was younger. I remember my mom went to law school at IU, remember?
Yes,
so
I don't.
So when I was, just put it back, I would put it about 7-8 years old. So I was
came
young.
over to the good side.
I did. My mom, then we would go to the IU games always, the IU football games, and we went to a road game one year at Kentucky, and it was called Commonwealth Stadium. I don't know what it's called now, but it's still called Commonwealth, but it's called I remember it's called Commonwealth Stadium. And on this game, I remember it was rainy. It was, it wasn't stormy. It was just rainy and wet, and it was cold, and it was kind of, but we had to sit right next to this, hick, and I say that affectionately, not to be derogatory, but this, covered, of course, dressed, of course, in Kentucky blue, top to bottom. I think he had like a Kentucky hat or a straw hat or something, and you could smell the beer on him, and whatnot. And he's got beer and whiskey in his hand or whatever, whatever. And it was so annoying because I was getting blown the buck out, and every time Kentucky would score, he would yell at the top of his lungs and go, "Whoa, Kentucky!" and I'm just sitting there to myself going, "Oh my word. I have to put up with this all game long," and I'm 8 years old, and I'm just sitting there. I keep looking at the sky.
Kroger Field.
Oh, it's Kroger Field now. Okay, it got a sponsorship. Okay,
Kroger Field,
formerly known as Commonwealth Stadium. Okay, so when I went, it was Commonwealth.
How long has it been?
So, but yeah, so I keep every time I keep glancing at this guy. I don't say anything to him. I just keep looking at him, going, like. Really? Like even that really look like, like really, man, like I have to put up with this all game. And I think the score had to have been some like 40 something to 7 or 10. I forget the exact score, but
2017.
So just named this past year.
So Commonwealth Stadium, 1973 to
2017. Okay. So it just got named this past year.
2017, 2018.
Yeah. So yeah. So every time I think of Kentucky, that always comes to my mind about how this guy was just so gung ho. Not that there's nothing wrong with being gung ho for your team. I'm the same way now, but it's just like I'll never forget that guy who was just screaming, "Kentucky!"
You're an idiot.
Yeah, right. And he chose Purdue over Kentucky for its highly rated academics. So that's why he chose Purdue over Kentucky. That's why Brees did.
Good move. I don't think Kentucky would have erected a building for you.
No. Graduated in 2001 with a degree in industrial management and is a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity.
Uh-huh.
After a relatively uneventful freshman season, Brees was given his first start during his sophomore year by head coach Joe Tiller. Rest in peace.
He died?
Yeah.
Tiller
died a couple years ago.
Did I know that?
I thought you knew that. Yeah, I thought you knew that. Yeah, he did. And he became an integral part of Tiller and Jim Chaney's unorthodox basketball on grass spread offense, which was fun as heck to watch, serving as offensive captain during his junior and senior years. He had the option to make himself available for the 2000 draft, but chose to return for his senior year to complete his studies. Good move.
Great move.
Yeah. And then in 2000, the Boilermakers to memorable last-minute upsets against top-ranked Ohio State, screw you, and Michigan, and moved to the Boilermakers' first Big Ten championship in over 3 decades.
Damn.
Yeah. The Ohio State game is replayed on ESPN Classic and is widely remembered for Brees' 4 interceptions and 64-yard touchdown pass to Seth Morales with 1:55 remaining to seal a vital 31-27 win, prompting commentator Brent Musburger to exclaim, "Holy Toledo," in a post-game field rush afterwards. But due to head-to-head victory over Michigan and Northwestern, Purdue won the invitation to the 2001 Rose Bowl, which I went to. I got to see Brees' last collegiate game.
Drag it up.
Yeah.
I don't.
First appearance there since 1967. I know. But Purdue did lose by 10 points to Washington.
When they were actually good.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, Washington's still good.
On my NCAA 2010, they went 0-.
Well, that's when they were bad. Yeah, they're good again because the guy from Boise State, Chris Peterson, went there and now is killing it. So Washington's ranked. From Boise State. Yes. Washington's ranked like top 10 in the country now. So, yeah. Brees was the finalist of the Davey O'Brien Award as the nation's best quarterback in '99. He won the Maxwell Award as the nation's outstanding player. Okay, outstanding player and outstanding quarterback in 2000. And the NCAA's today's top 8 award as a member of the class of 2001.
Yeah.
He was also 4th in the Heisman voting in '99 and 3rd in 2000.
Cool.
So.
He never won a Heisman.
No, never won a Heisman, but was in the hunt.
Never won a Heisman, probably never going to win the league MVP.
In his college career, Brees set 2 NCAA records, 13 Big Ten records, and 19 Purdue records. He left Purdue with Big Ten conference records in passing yards, 11,792, 90 touchdown passes.
12, that's in 4 years?
That's in 4 years. 12,693 total offensive yards, 1,026 completions, and 1,678 attempts. He tied an NCAA record with the longest pass ever, 99 yards, to receiver Vinny Sutherland against Northwestern on September 25th, 1999, and held the NCAA record for pass attempts in a game with 83 for 15 years until Washington State quarterback Connor Halliday broke it in October 2013.
I guess that's the longest you can pass.
Well, yes, it's 99 yards, correct, yeah. So
because 100 yards would put you at a safety.
In 2009, he was inducted into Purdue's Hall of Fame. Big Ten's Greasy Brees Quarterback of the Year award initiated in 2011 was named in his and Bob Greasy's honor. That's cool. He was named the Big Ten's best quarterback of the 90s and ranked 48 on the documentary Big Ten Icons. So that's
okay.
Cool. So that's cool.
Okay.
So yeah, college career absolutely outstanding. Now his pre-draft measurables. Okay, these were critical to where he ended up being drafted.
Okay.
Of course, his height was 6 foot, a quarter inch, so just barely over 6 feet. Weight 213. He ran a 4.83 40. Had 3-cone drill, 7.09 seconds, 32-inch vertical jump, had an 8'9" broad jump.
What's broad? Is
that's like the track stuff you do on the track? Or,
okay.
Yeah,
long jump.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. Brees' college success led to projections that it would be about a mid-late first-round draft pick in the 2001 draft, but he slipped due to concerns about his relatively short stature professional quarterback. So, the fact that he was short.
Well, Doug Flutie kicked ass.
Russell Wilson, another prime example. He's under 6 foot.
Doug Flutie was way under, and he just blew the doors off.
A perceived lack of arm strength and a sense that he has succeeded in college in a spread offense. Brees was the second quarterback behind Michael Vick selected in the 2001 draft, chosen by the Chargers as the first pick of the second round and 32nd overall. So wasn't even drafted in the first round.
32nd overall.
Yeah, first pick of the second round.
One teams.
Because at the time there were 31. There weren't 32
Okay,
yet. I remember when he was drafted. Remember the Texans weren't around yet.
Okay.
San Diego originally had the first pick in that draft, but traded it to Atlanta, which drafted Vick in return for the 5th pick of the first round, with which San Diego drafted LaDainian Tomlinson.
Okay.
So they got LT out of that deal too.
Okay.
And let's see. Then with the Chargers, played his first professional game November 4th, 2001 against Kansas City. Finished with 221 yards and his first career touchdown, a 20-yard pass to Freddie Jones.
Now, is that preseason or regular?
Regular.
Okay.
On August 19, 2002, was named the starter for the 2002 season over Doug Flutie. So Flutie was the starter originally.
Okay.
And then he got named the starter.
I'll never forget the Boston College snippet. Flutie did it.
Yeah, the Hail Mary. Yeah.
Yeah.
That or his drop kicked extra point.
Ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah. Brees started all 16 games for the Chargers during the 2002 season, leading the team to an 8-8 record. Finished 2002 with 3,284 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, and 16 picks. After a disappointing start in 2003, he was replaced by Flutie, though he regained the job by the end of the season. In 11 games, he finished with 2,108 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 15 interceptions. In 2004, of course, that's when the Chargers got Phillip Rivers in the draft. With a looming quarterback controversy, Brees performed well through training camp and the preseason, while Rivers held out during training camp, essentially guaranteeing him the job at the beginning of the season with Rivers as the backup. Brees remained the starter throughout 2004, where he started 15 games and led the team to a 12-4 record. In Week 8 against the Raiders, he was 22 of 25 for 281 yards and 5 touchdowns in the 42-14 victory to earn his first AFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. He completed 65% of his passes that year for 3,159 yards with 27 touchdowns to only 7 picks, giving him a 104.8 passer rating. The Chargers won the AFC West for the first time in 10 seasons, and Brees was selected to the 2004 Pro Bowl.
And why didn't he win the league MVP for 2004? Gee, I wonder.
You want to bet that Brady's the major reason why he hasn't?
Yes, probably.
He was named the 2004 NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Then came 2005. He became a free agent after the season and was not expected to return to San Diego, which had already committed a large sum of money to Phillip Rivers. The team eventually designated Brees a franchise player, giving him a 1-year contract that quadrupled his pay to $8 million for 2005. Under the terms of the franchise player contract, Brees was eligible to be traded or signed with another team, but the Chargers received 2 future first-round draft choices in return. He was not traded, and he continued as the starting quarterback for the remainder of the 2005 season. In Week 4, a 41-17 victory over New England, he was 19-24 for 248 passing yards and 2 touchdowns and earned the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. He posted a career-high in passing yards of 3,576. He also posted an 89.2 rating, 10th best in the NFL. However, in the last game of the 2005 season against Denver, Brees tore his labrum while trying to pick up his own fumble after being hit by Broncos safety John Lynch.
And then what's the labrum?
Shoulder.
Oh.
Denver tackle Gerard Warren hit Brees while he was on the ground, causing the injury. Brees underwent arthroscopic surgery before Dr. James Andrews to repair the torn labrum in his right shoulder on January 5, 2006. That's his throwing shoulder, too. Subsequent reports mentioned additional rotator cuff damage, and was also treated by Dr. Sabi Zajowicz to recover and regain muscle movement. Oops. Zajowicz. That's what it looked like. Zajowicz. Right.
Sometimes it's pronounced with a. Sometimes a W is pronounced as a V.
There you go. Zajowicz.
Yep, that's
okay.
Zajowicz.
Okay. After the season, the Chargers offered Brees a 5-year, $50 million contract. They paid $2 million in base salary. He evaluated the incentive-based offer to sign him no confidence by the Chargers and probably demanded the salary a top 5 franchise quarterback would receive. So he didn't want that deal.
Okay, yeah.
So after the Chargers refused to increase their offer, Brees met with other teams. The Saints and the Dolphins are the ones interested. Now, New Orleans made an offer that included $10 million in guaranteed money the first year and a $12 million option the second year. Miami was unsure if Brees' shoulder was completely healed, and doctors suggested the team not sign him because of the injury. The Dolphins ended negotiations and traded for Vikings quarterback Dante Culpepper instead. Brees signed a 6-year, $60 million deal with the Saints.
I bet they're kicking themselves for
Yeah,
that.
imagine Miami what you would have had.
Yes, yes. Although, would he have done as well in Miami?
It's hard to say.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because the reason is because the Saints have talent around Drew Brees.
Right.
You know, I don't think Miami has that much talent around him, or they wouldn't have.
Not in the receiving core anyway.
No.
They really haven't.
Thomas, Ingram, Kamara.
Yeah. Ted Ginn. Watson at tight end. You know, I mean,
let's see.
Cameron Meredith, who's coming on. So, yeah.
Who else? Reggie Bush was a Saint.
He was, yeah. You remember Marcus Colston?
Yes.
We had him a couple times in fantasy. Lance Moore.
And I think that was all when Brees was a Saint.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
Maybe the Dolphins wouldn't have had that kind of offensive presence, even if they would have got Brees. So,
yeah.
He's good with the Saints.
Yes, yeah.
Stay there.
Right, yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
And then, of course, the very first season was after Katrina, and they struggled to 3-13 at the year before, but then bounced back to 10-6, won the NFC South. Against Cincinnati, threw for career 510 passing yards, 2 touchdowns and 3 picks, won Offensive Player of the Week twice. Threw a league-leading and franchise record 4,418 passing yards, third in the league with 26 touchdown passes and 11 picks, and had a 96.2 passer rating. He was named starting quarterback for the NFC in the 2007 Pro Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And then Brees and Tomlinson were co-recipients of the Walter Payton Man of the Year award that year. So that's cool that they got reunited with Tomlinson and won that award.
And he was where with Tomlinson?
San Diego.
He was
Charger with him, yeah.
Okay.
And then his first playoff game in New Orleans on January 13, 2007, Brees was 20 of 32 with 1 touchdown and no picks against the Eagles. The Saints held on to win 27-24 and advanced to the franchise's first NFC Championship game against the Bears. Though he was 27 of 49 for 354 and 2 touchdowns, Brees committed 3 costly turnovers and was penalized for an intentional grounding in the end zone, resulting in a safety as the Saints lost 39-14. And then Brees dislocated his left elbow during the first quarter of the Pro Bowl. How do you dislocate your left elbow in the Pro Bowl back then when there was hardly any tackling back in the Pro Bowl back then?
Yeah.
Players back then didn't bother to tackle in the Pro Bowl. not like they do now. The Pro Bowl back then were like glorified exhibition games where nobody really tackled. I don't know how you dislocate your elbow in the Pro Bowl in 2007. That's crazy. Brees' second season with the Saints yielded some positive results statistically. Had an Offensive Player of the Week in Week 8. Week 15 had another Offensive Player of the Week nod. Overall, 4,423 yards, which topped his own record and tied a franchise record with 28 touchdowns. Also set the NFL record for pass completion in a single season with 440. But Saints missed the playoffs with a 7-9 record.
And I think their Super Bowl run was 09, I want to say.
I think you're right. 2008, Saints again missed the playoffs, but Brees had a strong year statistically, finishing 15 yards short of the NFL record for passing yards thrown in a single season, set by Dan Marino in 84.
Which he eventually got.
In Week 6, 34-3 victory over Oakland. He was 26 of 30 for 320 and 3 touchdowns to earn Offensive Player of the Week. In Week 8, he won Offensive Player of the Week again. So he had 3 Offensive Player of the Week honors that year, Week 6, 8, and 12.
Yeah, wait.
Yeah. Finished the season with 5,069 yards, became the second quarterback to throw for 5,000 yards in a season. And he passed for 300 yards 10 times during that season, tying Rich Gannon's record from 2002. And was named the AP 2008 Offensive Player of the Year and named to his 3rd career Pro Bowl. And yes, 2009 was the Super Bowl. Yep. First game against the Lions set a career high and franchise tying record with 6 touchdown passes. Earned NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Next week, beat the Eagles 48-22, 311 yards and 3 touchdown passes. Week 6 against the Giants, 23-30 for 369, 4 touchdowns, and a dominant pass rating of 156.8. And so, yeah. So, numerous records, numerous stuff throughout his Saints career. Just continues to blow your mind. I assume it means Sarah's home. Oh.
She said she's going to be late.
Oh, she's going to be late. Okay.
She called off yesterday because she was under the weather, so she might be staying late to make up for that.
Ah, okay.
So we've got a little more time.
But yeah, so in Week 7, a comeback victory against Miami. They were down 24-3 in the second quarter to Miami, but then came back to win 46-34. Next week, threw over 308 yards on 25-33. Started at 7-0. Then 8-0. Then they were 11-0, beating the Patriots 38-17 on Monday Night Football. Then they were 13-0.
Where you get
and then, of course, beat the Saints in the Super Bowl. In 2010.
The Colts in the Super Bowl, you mean?
Well, yes, is what I said.
You said beat the Saints in the Super Bowl.
Did I? I thought I said beat the Colts. Okay.
You did. You said beat the Saints. The Saints beat the Colts.
In 2010, qualified for the playoffs as a wild card team at 11-5, but then were all beat by the wild card round by Seattle, 41-36. Selected to his 5th Pro Bowl, 4th with the Saints. 2011, record-breaking season for Brees, led the NFL in completion percentage, passing yards, and passing touchdowns, which is known as the Triple Crown. He broke Dan Marino's 27-year-old record for most passing yards in one season in the 15th game of the season against the Falcons at home. Brees also set a new Saints franchise record of passing touchdowns in a season with 46. On October 23rd, in a 62-7 victory over the Colts, he was 31 of 35 for 325 and 5 touchdowns. His 88.57 completion percentage in the game remains a career high. Then went over the Giants. He was Offensive Player of the Week. Brees' performance gave him 4,031 yards in the season, making him the first quarterback in NFL history to eclipse the 4,000-yard mark in the first 12 games of a season, and the first quarterback to reach 4 consecutive seasons with 4,000-plus yards and 30-plus touchdown passes.
And yet he's never won the league MVP.
No.
Hearing all these records makes me wonder why.
In Week 17 against the Panthers, Brees closed out the season by setting 6 NFL records, finishing the year with 468 completions for 5,476 yards edging Tom Brady of the Patriots, also surpassed Marino's record with 5,235. Brees averaged 342 passing yards per game, which broke Dan Fouts' record of 320. In 2013, Peyton Manning bested Brees' record by 1 yard and finished the season with an NFL record 5,477. So it stood for a while until 2013 by 1 yard. After defeating the Lions in the wildcard game, then Brees and the Saints lost in the divisional round to San Francisco. But he was named to his 6th career Pro Bowl.
In what year?
2011. In 2012, on my birthday of that year, the Saints and Brees agreed to a 5-year, $100 million contract on July 13th.
Nice.
Had the largest amount of guaranteed money in NFL history, $60 million. In Week 5, Brees threw a 40-yard touchdown pass to Devery Henderson against his former team, San Diego. It was his 48th consecutive game with a touchdown pass. With that pass, Brees broke Johnny Unitas' consecutive game streak with at least 1 touchdown pass. And Unitas' son Joe was actually present at the Superdome to witness his record being broken. Wow.
Joe Jr.?
Yeah.
No, Joe.
Yeah,
Joe
son.
Unitas.
Joe Unitas, yes. Brees earned NFC Offensive Player of the Week for that
Baltimore
game.
Colts?
Yes.
I don't think he wasn't with them when they moved to Indy.
In the Week 13 game against the Falcons, Brees threw no touchdowns and a career-high 5 interceptions, ending his consecutive game streak with at least 1 touchdown pass at 54. So that's when the streak ended. Week 14, Brees threw for 354 yards, giving him his 7th straight 4,000-yard season, surpassing Peyton Manning's record of 6.
54 games with a touchdown pass
Yes.
is the streak.
Yes.
Okay.
It's also his 5th straight season with at least 30 touchdown passes and 4,000 yards passing, also a record. Brees managed to finish the season with 5,177 yards and 43 touchdowns, despite having the worst defensive support in the NFL, whose over 7,000 yards conceded was an all-time NFL record. He did that with the worst defense in the NFL. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Kinda.
And the team was 7-9 and missed the playoffs.
Who's that sound familiar to this season? Mahomes and KC.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's right.
One of the worst defenses.
In the NFL, but Mahomes killing it offensively. Yeah.
Still undefeated.
Mm-hmm. And then Brees was named the Pro Bowl again for the 7th time. 2013 was NFC Offensive Player of the Week in Week 4. Also again in Week 10. In Week 12, he passed Warren Moon for 5th place on the list at the time with 49,566. During Week 14, he became the fastest player ever to join the 50,000-yard club, and only the 5th player to do so. Week 17, he had NFC Offensive Player of the Week honors. Extended his NFL record to a 6th straight season with at least 30 touchdown passes with 4,000 passing yards, his 3rd straight 5,000-yard season, and his 8th straight 4,000-yard season. And he was named to his 8th career Pro Bowl. They were 11-5 and narrowly beat Philadelphia in the wildcard round, but then lost to Seattle, who went on course to win the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. She's leaving now.
Okay. Brees admits the 2014 season was his most frustrating. Beginning with a pair of games lost on game-ending field goals by the other team. Week 1, Saints lost 37-34 to Atlanta in overtime. And Week 2, a 26-24 loss against Cleveland. But he moved into 4th place on the career passing list ahead of John Elway. October 19, 2014, he became the NFL's all-time leader in completion percentage at 66.21%. November 30th, he was NFC Offensive Player of the Week. In a Week 15 game against Chicago, he extended his streak to an NFL record 7th straight season with at least 30 touchdown passes, 9 straight seasons of 4,000 passing yards. But average streak of 5,000 passing yard seasons ended at 3, 4,952 yards. Named to his 7th consecutive and 9th career Pro Bowl.
Bang.
Yeah. In 2015, the 4th week of the season, his 80-yard touchdown pass to C.J. Spiller on the 2nd play of overtime gave the Saints a 26-21 over the Cowboys in the first win of the season. NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Touchdown gave Brees 400 first career, making the 5th player in history to reach that milestone. Also became the fastest player ever to reach 400 touchdowns, doing it in only 205 games. Completed his 5,000th pass with a touchdown to tight end Josh Hill. It was the quickest regular season overtime win in the history of the NFL. 13 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. How about that?
Just one play
Just
done.
done. Yeah, done.
Was that when they had sudden death? Or
Yes, that was when they had sudden death. That was before the new overtime rules, correct.
Yeah.
On November 1st, he tied the NFL record of touchdown passes in a game with 7. During the 52-49 Saints went over the Giants. In that game, he was 39 of 50 for 505 yards to record his second career game at least 500 yards. And earned NFC Offensive Player of the Week. In Week 12, a streak of 45 straight games with a touchdown pass ended in a 24-6 loss at Houston. But 2 weeks later, he passed Dan Marino for fourth in career touchdown passes. In Week 15, he became the fourth quarterback to reach 60,000 yards in 215 games, fastest ever. He had his 10th straight 4,000-yard season, plus his 94th 300-yard game, but the Lions won 35-27. Put him first in most 300-yard games. A week later, streak was extended to an 8th straight season with his 30 touchdown passes, plus his 95th 300-yarder, all NFL records against Jacksonville. Brees finished the season with 4 straight 300-yard games for a career total of 96, and a season total of 4,970 yards passing. Then 2016, tied Peyton Manning for most 400-yard games. Next week, passed Dan Marino for third place in career passing yards and lost to the Giants. Then October 16th in Week 6, he threw for 465 yards and 4 touchdowns over the Panthers. With that performance, Brees set an NFL record for the 15th 400-yard passing performance of his career.
Dang.
And then reached another milestone in the game, becoming the 6th player to record 50,000 passing yards with one team. You can probably name the other 5.
What?
Okay.
Manning.
Quarterbacks to record 50,000 passing yards with one team.
Manning.
Manning with the Colts.
Brady.
Brady with the Patriots, yep.
I know 2. Okay. I know 2 of them.
You probably know them all.
They're escaping me right now.
Okay, go back to the 90s.
Montana?
Nope.
Marino?
Yes, Marino with the Dolphins, yep.
Elway?
Elway with the Broncos.
Who's the 5th?
Mr. Faber.
Favre.
Brett Favre. Yep, Packers, yep.
Yeah.
That's the other one. Then Week 7, Brees became the first player in NFL history with 100 games with 300 or more passing yards. During Week 16, Brees and Aaron Rodgers tied the record for most seasons with at least 35 touchdown passes with 4, a record shared with Manning and Brady. Finished 2016 with 5,208 yards, second most of his career, and the 5th 5,000-yard season of his career, won all their 5,000-yard seasons combined. He also threw for 471 completions, breaking his NFL record of 468, and a career high 673 attempts. Finished third in touchdown passes with 37, finished second in completion percentage. And despite this performance for the 3rd straight season, the Saints finished 7-9 and missed the playoffs.
That's probably why, he's never won the league MVP right there. Is because the records,
Right.
the overall, season records, has sucked as far as win-loss.
Right. Then last year, after starting off the season with a loss to Minnesota, Brees looked to bounce back against New England. In the 36-20 loss, he was 27-45 for 356 and 2 touchdowns. During Week 10 against Buffalo, he was held to 184 passing yards, but the Saints combined for 298 rushing yards and won 47-10. In Week 13, he passed Peyton Manning for second place in career completions, then named to his 11th Pro Bowl at the end of the season.
And yet he still hasn't won league MVP.
During Week 16 against Atlanta, Brees became the 3rd player to amass over 70,000 passing yards in a career, doing so in an NFL fastest 248 games. In that game, he also earned his 12th straight 4,000-yard season and finished the game with 239 passing yards, a touchdown, and an interception as the Saints won 23-13. Brees finished 2017 with an NFL record 72% completion percentage. He also had the leading number of completions and yards per pass attempt and came in second in passer rating. Saints finished 11-5, won the NFC South, and made the playoffs. In the wildcard round against Carolina, he had 376 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick in the 31-26 victory. And in the divisional round against Minnesota, he had 294 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 2 picks in the 29-24 loss, a.k.a. the Minnesota Miracle. He was ranked 8th by his fellow players in the top 100 players of 2018. So, and of course, it's up to this season. So,
Okay.
Yeah. So, just been absolutely insane.
Yeah. Bring it home.
Huh?
Bring it home.
Bring it home?
Which means
Okay.
final thoughts.
So, just, yeah, final thoughts in
So,
general on
All
Drew.
that he just broke down his records year by year. That is why we're doing this show. I kind of suggested it after the performance of last night.
Yeah.
He deserves what he's got.
Yes.
He deserves it, and yet he still says nothing is given, everything is earned, and by God, you've earned it.
Right.
He does not win the league MVP this year after breaking the all-time records and all that. St. Louis, I'm calling you to riot. And I will probably be
St. Louis.
no Saints. Saints. Oh my God!
St. Louis.
I'm hungry. I'm tired. I have no freaking clue why.
Yes, St. Louis is going to riot.
I'm thinking the Saints in Louisiana. I
Okay.
guess. Saints in Louisiana.
Yeah,
You see-
New Orleans.
New Orleans, Louisiana. You can see where I.
Well, St. Louis can write about not having a football team, yes.
Yeah. Well, right. St. Louis, right, because of that.
Right, but not about Drew
But-
Brees.
Saints, sorry.
Yeah.
I have no idea why I said that.
Yeah.
I'm calling the Saints to riot if he doesn't get the league honor this year. Okay?
One more thing, though, I have to show you.
Okay.
Have you seen the Flyers' new mascot?
No, Philadelphia Flyers.
They have a mascot finally. They have joined the mascot game.
In hockey?
This ugly-looking thing.
Oh, my God. What the? Gritty? The
This is
good
Gritty.
side. Oh,
This
my-
is Gritty.
Already
Yeah.
has a what?
He's now the most followed NHL mascot on Twitter. He passed Bailey in Twitter followers.
He's an ugly mother.
That's Gritty. I don't know why or how he has so many Twitter
I
followers.
guess you can't do a penguin because Pittsburgh.
Well, no. But he looks like if Yuppie and the Philly Fanatic had a man-child. Like seriously. It's an orange, big old...
He looks like
Philly
one of
Fanatic.
the Wiggles
yeah, I could see
or
that.
something.
Big old Muppets.
Yeah.
You know,
What the hell?
so I'm like,
So, anyways.
no, I had to show you that because it's like just totally ugly.
But anyway, to wrap this up, Drew Brees has everything, and he deserves everything he's got.
Yes.
He deserves, I think, more than he's got. Please give him the league MVP. Sometime, please.
Right.
He deserves it, dang it.
Right. At some point. Yeah.
So, yes.
Yes. Well, that is going to conclude the debut of Off the Cuff.
I guess so.
We talked about a lot of different things.
Uh-huh.
Mainly Drew is our main story,
Yes.
but delved into a lot of different things, a lot of different topics. So thank you guys for your views, subscribers so much.
And then now, I guess we have no idea how often we'll do Off the Cuff.
Right, because it's literally off the cuff. It's
Yeah.
literally that's literally its title and its meaning.
I guess we'll discuss stories and how many shows we'll do for this new show.
Absolutely.
I had no idea he created a whole new show out of this, but okay.
Yeah, it happens.
All right.
It happens.
All right.
It happens.
I guess.
All right. So
So,
until next stream, for Nate Hettinger,
Yeah.
I'm Spikey Dash. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.